Hey, everybody, this is David Bloom with Next TMT Talks here with Daniel Frankel in Las Vegas or thereabouts, at least on his behalf, as we do a not that special edition of CES coverage. It is quite the shindig, usually attracts something like 170,000 people from all over the planet.
Pre-pandemic. They're hoping for 150 this year, but go ahead.
All right. They're hoping for a mere 150,000, which by Vegas standards is, I believe, still the largest show in Vegas, which is saying something because they do a lot of shows there. But they have all kinds of gear, and now they're getting into a whole bunch of other stuff, particularly AI. Let's talk a little bit about Dan. Tomorrow, the Consumer Technology Association CEO, longtime head, Gary Shapiro, is sitting down with the heads of the Federal Communications Commission and the Federal Trade Commission to talk really exciting stuff that really has been burning through our brains like that. Well, actually, it's just about whether Chinese drones are banned in the United States and why.
That's probably what they'll talk about.
That's probably what they'll talk about. What would you like them to talk about?
Well, I'd like them to have an incendiary political conversation about the sort of fundamental shift in oversight for government agencies like the FCC, from Congress to our favorite president.
Without, by the way, any vote by Congress to allow that to happen.
I think after appearing on South Park and becoming kind of a national figure, Brendan Carr is going to keep it low. And I think the same goes for Mr. Ferguson, the head of the FCC. So I don't expect much, but I could be surprised.
It is an annual sit down. The CTA is, of course, a mammoth trade organization. Its first reason for existence is not putting on CES so much as it is militating for the benefit of its membership in Washington, D.C. So having the two major regulators on a stage talking with the head of the organization is always probably smart stuff. That being said, as you say, I agree with you. It's unlikely to be much, given there's been a few other things going on this week in Washington that have been a little distracting.
The big buzz this year at CES, you can't escape it. Agentic AI, which is unlike generative AI, which you give it directions and it creates something for you. Or it creates something on its own without you, because it doesn't need you. Agentic AI is basically agents. It's AI that can perform tasks in the real world, like data entry for account managers at movie studios and streaming companies, or the process of programmatic ad buying and selling, which is the case for NBC Universal. Big announcement today involving the agency RPA, Comcast Freewheel division, and a company called Newton to basically transact ads through Agentic AI. Cut out the humans and let the computers be the media buyers and sellers.
Well, it's the next step in programmatic, which has been around, 15 years now, in terms of automating some component of advertising tied to what the inventory is, what the show is, and all that. I had some conversation with Double Verify, a big ad verification company. They're working with IMDb, which is owned by Amazon, and using the vast database of Amazon, but of IMDb to help do this agentic stuff in a smarter way. So you're an advertiser and you want to have the hot show with the good ratings that is not, violent or not R-rated, but it's kind of got the buzz right now, or you want to be up against prestige stuff so it can be much more granular down to an episode level, with pairing your brand with a specific streaming long form show. They've been doing stuff kind of like this for a long time with TikTok and YouTube and all that. But those are worlds that are kind of used to this bi-directional flow of data. Streaming, not so good about that. And so this is providing a little bit more depth of knowledge to help make those agents smarter, which I think is really an interesting
The happy talk is a little bit disturbing. You will find nobody appearing on any of the panels I looked at yesterday and today, Wednesday. Your job will be changed, basically, is the message. You will.
Yes, it'll be changed. It'll be changed to being an attendant at the hotel in Vegas. That's what it'll be changed to.
Yeah, they had a Fox ad sales executive talking about all these armies of account executives whose job was basically data entry. That data entry will no longer be required. Well, what will all this personnel do now, well, they'll be freed up is the parlance. So
Yes, free to find a new job. And we've seen plenty of jobs depart from the big hyperscale companies as they've invested most heavily, most initially in AI. And you see them carving away middle management, just thousands and thousands of jobs over at Amazon and all the rest. This is another way to do it on the ad side, right? Yeah. Well, it comes at a time where just today, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette announced it will cease publication in May, an old media landmark that continues to unspool there. It's like, welcome to the fun ride, Hollywood, because this is kind of where it ends up. So at that point, there are some interesting bits out there. I think the Agentic AI stuff is pretty fascinating. The best of CES awards were announced today, and it turns out that Nvidia's Rubin chip, which is their next generation chip, which Lenovo did really well. They got like 3 awards. But it turns out the Nvidia Rubin chip only was a finalist. It didn't actually win. A Lenovo phone did. But it turns out, and this is for best AI, but it turns out that didn't matter because it did also make Rubin, because it was announced last night by Jensen Huang, the CEO, master showman of Nvidia, and their shares went up 1% today, which doesn't sound like much, but when your company is worth $4.55 trillion, 1% is a lot of money. That's like $45.5 billion in new value for your company. Don't spend it all in one place, Jensen. That's just a mere 1% of $4.55 trillion. It's a $45 billion bump. Anyway, anything else that you want to get into at CES before we head out of here?
No, there's still one more day. Actually, it's officially wraps up Friday, but tomorrow is when I think everybody's packing up and getting out of here. We're going to hit the big government policy panel that we talked about earlier, and we'll also meet with our friends at Cineverse to discuss Matchpoint's big purchase of media service company Giant. Which
it was a giant acquisition, literally. Initially, when I saw the headline, I go, well, Cineverse is, we love them, but they're not that big a company. A giant acquisition. It's like, oh, the company's named Giant. All right. Little literal. Big. That's good for them. Anyway, have fun the rest of your time at CES. With that, we will wrap up this not so special edition from Las Vegas and CES of Next TMT Talks. This will be part of our newsletter that's also going on midweek, a little unusual for us, but it's something we're probably going to be doing a lot more of this year. And with that, I am David Bloom, co-founder of Next TMT and Next TMT Talks with Daniel Frankel, my co-founder. You can subscribe and follow, all the rest of those fantastic things. Share with your friends at nexttmt.com. Thanks, everybody.